business is your business. It's all up in my lady business with me, Mary Nisi. Welcome to All Up in My Lady Business. Today we've got, once again, the amazing Ashley Logan. She is an entrepreneurial whirlwind, and I'm so happy to have her here again. She is a marketing genius and also a witch. So those are where that's as much of an introduction as you're getting. But Ashley is a person who, whenever I run into her, I run into Ashley sometimes in weird places. Like I ran into her. Was it at Casey Musgrave's concert?
Yeah, it was.
And I was having like there was something bad happening in my life, and I ran into Ashley. Like maybe you're on mushrooms. I don't remember, but I was definitely on something, and I ran into you like next to the bathrooms, and then I told you my problem, and you gave me the answer, and then I walked away from you, and I didn't see you again for the rest of the night. And it was like, and that happens all the time. It happens all the time. So Ashley she's got some kind of connection to the beyond.
Thanks, I'll take that. I think maybe you just bring it out in me, my magical, mystical fairy friend. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's you.
I can bring stuff out of people. I can get them to talk.
You do. Well, and you're like a projector in human design, I think.
I am a projector.
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
It means that like
once
you have the invitation to like be seen for all that you are, you just flourish. But it's like you're not. Yeah, I don't know.
No, go on. Say more.
Well, like in your perfect world, like people are coming to you with things, and then you can be like, okay, yes, now I can fully create something. And that when people fully see you, you thrive. And which is so true.
It is true. And I need to be invited. That's the thing I need. If people invite me in, I'm like a vampire. You have to invite me in. And then once you've invited me in, I will reverse suck your blood.
Yeah. But like you leave an impression, and that's really.
Is it 2 fangs in the neck?
I mean, I wish. It's been a while. Can you come here and bite my neck?
Ashley's also recently divorced, so she also has some of that energy going on, that hot energy. But yeah, so Ashley and I kind of are in similar positions because we both sort of have kind of quasi left our companies and not really left the company, but we're not like actively involved in them anymore. Like we are technically the owners, although I do believe you just sold your company. So I mean, you're a little bit further beyond wherever I could be. But we're in this weird place, this liminal place where we both have, why don't you talk about Yakety Yak? Yakety Yak is a marketing company that you own, and that's how I met you.
Yes. So our origin story is just like next level. For anyone who wants to hear it, you can go back and listen to the first time I was on this show. But so Yakety Yak is the marketing agency that I founded in 2014 and built from the ground up while simultaneously growing a family. So I had 3 tiny kids, a multi-7-figure agency with a global presence, and it was wild. It was absolutely fucking wild. And I think that the thing that's really interesting that now in hindsight, I'll finish the thought before we go into the hindsight, but I exited fully that business just a couple weeks ago. And it started by merging with another firm who is amazing, perfectly synergistic. We had a lot of suitors over the years, and they weren't the right fit. So I dragged this motherfucker to the finish line because I wanted my people to be in a culture where they could thrive. I wanted my clients to be able to continue the legacy. And then I stayed on in a part-time role for about 6 months. And then in May, I really got clear and honest with myself that even though I was getting a paycheck, even though I had financial security, that chapter of my life was closed. And part of that came from recognizing that the reason I started the agency in the first place was to put myself in a box that made sense. I was a creative person with lots of ideas who, as with witchy tendencies. And that wasn't something that in 2013, there's not like a job description that's like intuitive support for your business through marketing and whole body support. But I,
Mm-hmm.
now that's what
Now it
I'll do.
does.
Now
It
it
exists
makes a
now.
little bit more sense. But um, so I sort of channeled all of my gifts into this business that was explainable. And while like I recognize I did a lot of really big things by like building this company while having the kids, and that statistically, as you know, being a woman in business that exceeds the $1 million in revenue mark is like a fucking like 2%.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it wasn't the fit for me. It wasn't what my soul calling was. And it was really like in the face of total burnout and self-exploration that I realized like, oh, actually like it's the witchy part of me. It's the intuitive part of me. It's the connection part of me that is what I was trying to fit in a box.
It's interesting the fitting in the box and putting who you are into it. Like, it's like, because it's like, it's, I've never thought about it from that perspective that like you have this way of like explaining what people are and making their gifts shine. And that's kind of what marketing is. And taking like your weirdness and trying to make it marketable or turn it into a job, which I think is like, what we all kind of are doing with our, with everyone. That's what the point of adulthood, or so the story we were sold is. And so it's, what an interesting insight to make about yourself, that I am a creative person who can help people find themselves and, kind of make it all synergize together. And marketing was where you did it, and you managed to work your way out of that to be able to do the thing you actually can do with your skills.
Mhm.
Like you were gonna, like I was just saying this to someone earlier on, I was gonna be an entrepreneur, whether I was a DJ company owner or a boutique, whatever I wound up doing with my life, I was gonna have to be my own boss, because I can't work for people. And
No,
and
it's same. The
yeah,
same.
so
The
it's,
last 6 months taught me anything is that.
but like how many people are stuck in jobs like that where like, their itch is sort of scratched. They get to kind of be creative or kind of be whatever the thing they're good at. And they have to force it into some kind of capitalist framework in order to make it work for their lives. And then the burnout happens because the thing that you loved or the thing you think you're good at, it doesn't feed you forever. And, when we were having that conversation a couple days ago, listeners, you weren't a part of, but we had a conversation a couple of days ago about burnout. And I really, it's an interesting topic, burnout.
Well, like, I mean, even beyond that, though, like, let's reverse for 2 seconds. We have to tell ourselves lies in order to survive in the way that this society is designed. It's important. Those lies are important.
What's an example of a lie?
An example of a lie is that like your employer loves you and that you have to show up every day, and when you work hard and do a good job that you're going to make more money and then you're going to like be happy. Like you have to believe that at some point in this capitalistic framework of society to know that like, okay, this is, you got to convince yourself, I am getting up. I am going to work. I am doing this thing. I have purpose. I'm leaving my kids at daycare or wherever, like I have purpose. We have to convince ourselves of that to survive. And the problem is that once you reach a state of burnout, or once that veil gets lifted where you realize like, oh shit, like actually, maybe those things aren't true, then you have to really look yourself in the eye and figure out like what is true for you. So like two things can be true at the same time. You can need to make a living, and you can want to make your soul feel good about it. And those things don't have to be in sync. That's why like a side hustle is important. And then having boundaries at work is important, especially if you hate your job, or kind of part of the rat race.
Do you think a side hustle is important? And by side hustle, I mean, I think of a side hustle as a thing you are making money doing on the side. Like, it's not just like, I'm having fun doing knitting. It's, I'm knitting and selling. Like, to me, that's a side hustle.
Yeah.
It's the monetization of a hobby.
I'm so glad that you said that, because like the real thing that I think we are missing in society right now is like the backyard musician, the person who picks up a guitar at a barbecue and like fumbles through some Fleetwood Mac
Free Fallen. Oh, yeah.
yeah, like whatever, Tom Petty, and everyone sings along, and they're not so self-conscious and whatever. And that person has a gift, and we're so happy for them and so grateful that they busted out their guitar so we could smoke a joint around a campfire and sing Tom Petty. But the other part of that is that so many of those people's dreams have been crushed by people being like, what are you going to do with that? So you love to write. So what are you going to do with that? Oh, you love to sing. So like, what are you going to do? Be the next Beyonce? Like,
yeah, you can't go to art school. What are you going to be? You're not going to be like, no one buys paintings anymore.
Right. Says the person with like, is that Elvis behind you?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. No one's ever asked me about these back here, but these are actually, well, maybe they have, but this is Interpol, the band Interpol. And they are, it's the band Interpol that was a marketing poster series they made when Antics came out, their second record. And Shepard Fairey, who did the Obama Yes We Can iconic, his profile photo. Like,
yeah.
So Shepard Fairey made these. And when this guy over here is Carlos D, who was the bass player, and he kind of famously left the band right before they released Antics. And so when they were doing the marketing thing, they were only releasing these three. And so my friend Michael, who was the Matador rep, who I used to run a record fair at the Pitchfork Music Festival, and Matador got a table at it, and he gave me these three pictures, and he's like, yeah, it's too bad because Carlos D, we had them made for Carlos D, but he's not in the band anymore, so we're not giving them away. And I'm like, can you sneak me one? And he's like, let me see what I can do. And then like 3 weeks later in the mail, I got Carlos D. So I might be one of the only people that has an entire Shepard Fairey set of the Interpol posters for Antics.
Okay, and I have a very personal question.
Yeah.
Are those clear frames that you can see the paint through, or did you perfectly match the matte of those paintings to your paint color?
The mats are a little bit different from the paint color, but they luckily look really good with it. Those pictures have been hung all over the place in different iterations. They used to be in my office. They used to be in a different part of my house. I've moved them so many times. And then once I got this, it actually worked perfectly accidentally.
Gotta love it. Well, now back to our main event.
Okay,
back to our main event.
Yeah, sorry guys, that little side piece.
But yeah, it's that. It's like the art of it all.
Okay, yes, we were talking about art. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so someone can knit, and how often is like the baby boomer dad, like, you should really sell those on Etsy. And then you start being like, okay, well, is it like worth it for me to just like have a hobby? So insert side hustle, hobby, something you do that you love that's just for you is such an important part of surviving this life and staying connected to like what I believe is our life force energy. It's our sacral authority. It's the creator that lives within all of us. And humans are meant for art. They are meant to create. They're meant to express. And we used to sing. We used to dance. And wait, Mary, did you create an entire brand around getting people dancing again?
I guess I did, yeah.
Fuck yeah, you did.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. It's the creation. I can't stop. I've had many people over my years being like, Mary, when's it going to be enough? Like, when can you just chill with where you're at and be there for a second? And I just can't. Like, it's like, I can't tell if I'm, running like I'm running out of time, or if I'm like actually just, like time to move on to a new thing and it's okay. And it's, or am I running? Or I'm just afraid of myself.
Why do you run like you're running out of time?
Yeah, I did. I just sort of tried to co-op Hamilton, and it didn't. Yeah, it was like half in my brain and half out. And
I was sitting there, and my wheels were spinning. Like, where are these lyrics from? Where are this? Oh, I know.
Yeah, and also I will never be satisfied. I'll never be satisfied. Yeah,
totally. Well, I have a case of that too, but I think that more than that, it's like taking the information that you get and then acting on it. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like I couldn't exit Yakety Yak in one fell swoop. It doesn't work that way, but it's starting to be like, okay, so what doesn't work about it? What can I set down? Then what are the things I really want to be doing? How can I fit them into my life as well? And starting to create spaciousness. And now we have arrived at burnout, motherfucker.
Wait a minute. So you're saying, what's the spaciousness?
So, like, if you are like, okay, so let's take Mary Nisi, for example. You have been operating Toast and Jam for over 20 years. For those of you listening who don't know, she is a genius. She is very well known in the DJ world. She owns the largest women-owned DJ company in the country. Started that shit, navigated through a pandemic while raising a family, while like just building a culture that's amazing and trying to follow all the rules that weren't written for DJ companies. Like, she's a bad bitch. And with all of that she did and accomplished, then there was a moment where you're like, okay, I have done all of these things and that feels like enough right now. And so I'm going to push back on whoever says, are you ever going to be satisfied? It's like, no, you recognize that that is enough. And so what you have done, which is a beautiful thing, is you got lit up by an idea that gave you some joy. And that joy helped you get to the finish line. So by starting the dance parties, that gave you enough life force to have the clarity to be like, okay, cool, dude. I am going
Yeah.
to now have Melissa step in a much bigger role because I know that I am tapped out. I have done all that I've set out to do here. So I'm not adding more value to the company or to myself. But this other thing that I'm doing is giving me life.
Yeah. It's almost like it gave me permission to leave my company because it was kind of another job.
Yeah, but if you even look at it in a reframe, something that gave you joy that you spent time with helped you understand what was important to you and what was giving you joy and what wasn't.
Well, and I think it's also like, like finding the thing, like I am not going to pretend like I invented the target market of, women between the ages of 35 and, 65 that still want to like move their bodies and dance and have a good time. Like I didn't invent that demographic. But once I figured out that it was a demographic, and that's the thing, it's like, it is figuring out, like finding the place for it. I mean, it's like, what is it?
Wait,
Cicero.
hang
Wait,
on,
what?
hold it. Like, let's back up for a second. Here's what you did with Hot Flash Dance is you understood there was 3 things happening in the world simultaneously. And you built on the foundation of your experience. 1, that people used to connect and go out and dance a lot and have a lot of fucking fun.
Even
And
old people.
old people,
Yeah.
dancing was part of our culture. Like we used to dance. And the pandemic killed a lot of that. Like we lost dancing. Fred again. We lost dancing. And so with that in mind, you saw then a third need, which was that women need to feel safe. And noticing that after the Me Too movement, where women were seen, heard, recognized, and then the free fall plummet of that, the pendulum swinging the other way, where it's like
trad wives and
and like, don't get me wrong, like I want a fucking farm, like for sure. Give me the chickens, give me the horses, all of that. But like, story for another day. But there's a whole lot of people and a cultural narrative like constantly trying to discredit women. And so 1, like discrediting women. 2, women love to show up together. You totally fed off of the magic that happened at the Eras tour and how it felt to be in a room of people aligned with one purpose in safety and dancing. And then and people believed in you, so then you created it, and then you've gotten positive reinforcement, so you continue to build on it. So what I think more than anything is it wasn't just a business idea, it was a need that you had in your soul to show up and dance with people, to bring them joy again through music, through the thing that like was the original part, and bear with me, I'm going to go take this in a windy road, that was the original reason why you started Toast and Jam. And me, the original reason I started Yakety Yak was to make people feel seen. But guess what happens? We fit into boxes of things and rules and things we have to do. And then you realize like, okay, I've had enough of that. And now I'm going to take all of those things. I'm going to build something new or different or spend my time and energy in a way that pleases me. And that's allowed.
I think that also, like, I've come to realize how much when women turn 40, they become invisible, and people don't really regard us or think that we're a like, it's kind of like when the Sex and the City movie came out and everyone's like, "Wow, women go to movies?" And it was like, yeah, we go to movies. Like you can actually appeal to us, and we're the ones who actually spend money in our houses. Like,
It's unpacking the lie that like women don't
yeah,
matter.
yes,
And it's
and
like,
that we don't
so
that we're not
now, and
sexual,
so this
and
is
we're
why this is
not.
happening so much in midlife is like this reckoning. So for the woman who has told herself the lie in order to survive, that she's got to go to work at this place and do these things and follow a set of rules in order to get happiness and yada yada. And then you
But
turn 40
also,
and
once
you're
you turn
like,
40,
what the fuck? This was all a lie. And wait, I do matter. Wait, these rules, no one's going to hand me a gold star at the end of this. No one's going to suddenly be like, yes, you did it. Now go take the break.
yeah,
Then
there's
you
no
start
one
to be like, right.
there's no one there telling you did it. And I also think that when they get older, they're like supposed to dress differently. You're supposed to not be loud. You're supposed to like not do these things. You're not supposed to
Not get
be.
tattoos and we have a nose ring
Yeah.
and
I mean, I dress like a middle school art teacher, or her students. I mean, I'm really like, and it was one of these things where like I used to wear just like black, and I would kind of just, keep it chill. And then it just means I'm turning into Jean Nisi. It's the transmogrification into my mother it's very rapid. Uh, Especially
right.
recently. But I also think that in my case with with the hot flash dance situation is that I was 50. I just turned 50, and I was like, "Oh my god, I couldn't be less relevant." Like I was like but I don't feel irrelevant. Like I feel like there are people that still like I've got these really good skills, and it sucks that the older you get and the better you get at it, the less people want to see you in the club. And so like I I didn't know where to put this skill that I had, and I didn't wanna go to the club, and I didn't wanna go to the bar, and I didn't wanna, like, have drunk guys coming behind the table and asking me if I knew how all the buttons work, and, just all the dumb shit that I have to put up with
Right.
as
Oh my God.
the ways that in the places that I have been DJing at. And so to all of a sudden realize, like, "Wait a minute, I can just make the people I wanna make dance, like, and I can do that, and actually everybody wants that." Like, it is I feel like I should be on the cover of ARP magazine or something. Like, old people, you can still do it. Like, I don't know. It's whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Two things here though is like some of the most fun nights that I have had are at your dance parties.
Really? I get told by at least one person every time that this is the best night of their life. Like
So
they've
I'll
never
tell
been
you,
so happy.
like one of my we have my friend who I introduced you to at the what was the last concert we went to together? Oh, Brandy
Brandy
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
Yeah, my friend Katie was at the hot flash dance that you did a couple weeks ago at Roberts, and she wrote, she like just has been raving about it. She tells everyone possible about how much fun it is to do a dance party with Mary Nisi because here's what it does: it reminds us of our joy. And in a spot where we don't have to perform, and I like sort of hate the way that perform is used so much in AI lingo, but truly, where you don't have to like dress for the male gaze, where you can just like wear the thing that you know your girlfriends are going to love, or wear the sports bra out, or wear your flats because they feel good,
Mhm.
and not worry about it. Not like I wore last time, like fringe boots, the shortest skirt that I possibly own, and didn't have to worry about like cellulite, like anyone giving a shit that I have
Or
cellulite.
someone
And
touching you
right, or
in a
someone
wrong way.
coming up and like, putting a finger up my
Yes.
butt.
You
Like, I
also
didn't have
could
to
have
worry
come in
about any of that.
sweatsuits. That you also could
Could
have
have
come
come
in
in
a
that.
sweatsuit. That's the other thing. I love the people
Sho
that come in just like basically their pajamas, and it's
and they
like,
just
"You are my
show up.
people." Yeah.
Oh my god, I just had an idea. We have to do a collab, but that's the way my mind we need to do a pajama dance party, which is just like show up and like really just get unfiltered. But see, what you're saying though is so true. Like the feeling of not belonging anymore, or like both you and I are sober, like
Mhm.
alcohol free, I'll say.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so going out to places socially, it's just a different
It's a
vibe.
different vibe, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but the main thing that I think our thread here is that once you realize that something isn't working, the best thing that you can do for your mental health is then start to integrate something that is working. And whether that's creative expression, whether that's a side hustle, whether that's something to give you a little bit of joy and purpose, because we need purpose, and life should have meaning, and it should bring you joy. And a lot of times for women, we like stifled our personal expression so much. Like, I cut my hair when I was 22 in the job market because someone's like, "Oh, you can't have long hair and be a professional." And it's like, okay. So like gradually my life has been spent unpacking those lies that
Mhm.
chipped away at who I was, Ashley the person, and fit me into a box, into the homogeneity, into the culture of like all soldiers marching in the same direction.
Mhm.
And so now, what the gift that we have in midlife, as we realize the lies that we've been told, is that you can actually create something different. And that's fucking awesome.
But I think there's a lot of people that don't realize the lies, that they are lies, or that they've just been following them even though it hurts. I mean, I think I have bound myself in my own chains. I was binding myself in the same in the cages and telling myself that I had to have certain things or do certain things or run a same way. So it's like part of it is also like, how do you get people to realize like the thing that isn't feeding them, to find the thing that is feeding them, even recognizing that they are not, that they're starving. I think about how, like people are so separated from their bodies, like they can't even like,
That lump that's 3 feet above your ass.
yeah.
Sorry. I always think about this when I talk about like I plugged my head back into my body over the last like 6 years, which like gave me the chance to then pivot. And I laugh like Jimmy Dugan in A League of Their Own. Um, the movie when he's like, "There's no crying in baseball, no crying," and he's like, "You need to listen to your head. That's the lump that's 3 feet above your ass." Anyway, so we are as a society so disconnected from our bodies, so disconnected from our knowing because we've had to be in system override for so long. And it really comes down to like so many different things, from the lack of the village in childbirth, the lack of,
Hmm.
so like just the lack of support, the lack of being seen, heard, witnessed in tragedy, trauma, like over and over and over again, we have to override our systems and our knowing, and then eventually we end up just living up here. And I think that what happens is that people start to understand, like as disease presents itself, as other like chronic illness, um, lack of sleep, weight gain, all of these things, people start to go on a search. What's wrong with my
Hmm.
body? And it's like, I don't know, maybe because you haven't fucking listened to her in any point in your life. But that's not your fault. But the journey is to stop, create space, and to tune in
Hmm. I mean, I've been
so that
going
you're a whole
through,
ass person.
like, I've had a stressful couple of weeks, and I like last weekend I found that my son had lice, that Sebastian had lice. He like was combing his hair and some bugs came out, and then so I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning trying to delouse him. And then I got up the next morning and kept doing it, and I kept finding more. And I was like, fuck it, this is Strega pasta pot. I got to find somebody who can like get this out of his hair because I am not cut out for this. And so I found this like salon that just makes the lice go away. It was like 100% guarantee of like leaving without lice. And he sits down in the chair and says, "Let me check you." I was rife with lice. Just I had my whole head had so much lice. And I mean, luckily I only had lice for 20 minutes because that's the amount of time I knew I had it. But she
How
said
long did you really have it?
she could tell by the infestation on my head that I had it for 3 weeks. I had lice for 3 weeks. Sebastian had been at away camp and he brought it back from away camp. And so I had fucking lice all over my head, biting me, I was a whole fucking meal for that lice. And I'm like, I am so separated from my body that I didn't even realize I had lice. Because all I was doing was worrying inside my little head and not thinking about anything else going on. And yeah,
Your little
so
head.
on my little head. On my little head. So
I'm
I mean,
dead. I cannot believe this. That is my worst nightmare.
And so it's like, if I who am always, I'm actively trying. I do breath work in the morning. I meditate. I do yoga. I mean, I'm doing all this stuff to like integrate. I do acupuncture weekly, and I had lice for 3 weeks, and it's like I can't even as hard as I try to get the mind body connection. I can't do it. So how are you going to do that to a woman who's got like I got one kid and he's 12. Like I don't have the same. I'm not chasing around children, little babies, and I don't know how a woman who's like working a full-time job, has a husband who sucks, doesn't, that has kids and trying to how are they able to even have a hobby, much less connect their mind to their bodies?
So this is a really good. So I have a story for you. So it was 2019, and I was in Ireland for work, and I remember when I got on the plane, I was like, I'm sitting in like the back of this plane and in a shitty seat. I had just found out I was pregnant, and the guy in front of me like leans his seat back, which is his right to do. But I'm like stuffed in there like a sardine. I got no sleep at all. Got there, started meeting with people, doing the job I was supposed to be doing, and I miscarried. I started miscarrying, and sat through meetings. Remember sitting in a meeting with a pad. I like tracked down a euro. I like got a pad using a machine, euro. I'm actively miscarrying, and I sat through the meeting anyway. And I eventually, I left the conference. I had one night left, and it was offsite of the conference, and was flying home the next day. And I remember like going through all of the miscarriage process by myself and flying home and realizing that something has got to change. Like everything's broken. I set up this business where I am the person here who has to do this. I negotiated a shitty deal so I can have a higher profile where I'm sitting in the back of a fucking plane to fly to Ireland to go to, like, no one does that. No business owner sits in the back of the CEO sitting in the back of the plane. So like I negotiated a shitty deal because I didn't know my worth. I wasn't supported with the miscarriage, all of those things. And what happened after that is that I knew that it was broken. I knew that my marriage wasn't in a good spot. And I also knew that my business wasn't in a good spot. Well, the first time that I had sex after that, I got pregnant. I didn't even it was a couple weeks, but like got pregnant with my.
She got pregnant immediately after.
Yeah, so like the miscarriage was my last period. And then I was like, okay, so we got work to do. I was
that baby
aware,
3?
That was Sammy. I was aware of the problem, and I knew that I had work to do. So I couldn't silence the fact that like there's an awareness that like there's something going on in my marriage that we've got to fix, but like I got a baby who's coming. And then the pandemic happened in obviously March 2020. The baby was born in May 2020. So I knew I had a business problem, but now I had to navigate a pandemic. And then I had a newborn baby. It wasn't really until 2 years later, like from that knowing till I could actually be like, okay, so like now start to take more action. But what I was able to shift in the meantime before I could actually make a change was my mindset. So starting to collect what's true for me. Okay, I might not be able to go all of a sudden and pull the plug on my business where I have a business loan or pandemic loan and 30 employees and all of these things. And I have to make money because my ass is the only one who's on the line and no one else has got the titties in my household to breastfeed my baby. So I'm going to do that. But I was aware. I was aware of all the things that weren't working and I was tracking them. And what I would also do is say, okay, so I am going to now make some small shifts. I'm not going to check my email after this time. Oh, you know what? I'm going to break the rule that society said that I can't have a baby in my picture, and I'd breastfeed my baby on conference calls and be like, got a problem with that? Great. And so I started to break the rules that were within my purview to break so that I could sort of like test the waters, like what's true, what's not. Okay. And then realizing like, oh wait, no client is going to fire me. Actually, people are praising me. Wait, I just got Aeroflow just hired me.
Yes, it's like the ways you were hiding yourself. You were hiding yourself. You were being smaller. You were making yourself as small as you could so that everybody wouldn't question your commitment to the job. If you show any of yourself, you are somehow less into this job. Oh my
Totally.
God.
And then what I found out through all of this was like, wait, no one's going to fire me. Oh my God. And then I was like, wait, oh my God, I used to have a nose ring and I like put it back in. I was like, oh, still no one's going to fire me. This is fine. And I realized that all the rules were made up. So I had this like incubation period of being able to test things and pressure test them. Okay. What are the balls I can set down right now? While I can't burn it all down, that's impossible right now. It's just not going to happen. But what are the little tiny sips of air that I can give myself? What are the little beliefs that I can let go of? What are the truths that I can start to like plant roots with? And that's what I did. And then, so anyway, I guess that's my
Amazing.
advice to anyone who really like, if you've looked under the hood and you realize like, this isn't going to work for much longer, it's like, great, take that knowing,
Hmm.
use the paycheck to, stop working extra hours. Stop working extra hours, get the same paycheck. Start to use your free break time to start research the yarns you like for the scarves you want to make your family for Christmas. I
Yes.
don't know what it is. It's like
Yeah.
it's creating a little bit of spaciousness by not being in super performance overachiever mode.
Well, and I think recognizing it too. I mean, like the burnout, I mean, I think I've been burned out for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then COVID made it so much worse. And
Mm,
I think that burnout, like like when I hear the word burnout, it kind of sounds like, oh, I'm burned out. Like it kind of just seems like a thing you can say, but it's like unquantifiable.
yeah.
It's like there's no test you can take to find out if you're burnt out.
Mm,
And I think that I kind of equate the burnout with the way we kind of hate the concept of mental health, and like the way like, oh, I don't want to, I think about how like I want to get off my anxiety medication, and I'm like, why do I want so badly to get off a medication that is clearly helping me? Because we've pathologized and made it, like mental health be this thing you should be kind of ashamed of, even though I'm I do things for it. It's like burnout was kind of like admitting you need Paxil or whatever. But there's no Paxil for burnout. It's realizing like I have nothing in me to give. Like that is, I kind of feel like I really have like, I have like nothing to give right now outside of hot flash dance. Like I can't, like the number of emails I just can't bring myself to answer. And that's just not me. It's like not me to be like that. Like I'm not
yeah.
a person that that disappoints people. And I feel like the last 6 years, all I do is just let people down left and
Guess what?
right.
Maybe now you're the person who disappoints people. I don't know. Have you
Yeah,
been disappointed before?
I
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah, it happens. It's part of life.
Yeah.
And like becoming type B has been such a fucking gift.
Becoming type B. That is the name of your memoir. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Like I am going against every rule that I that
That's amazing.
like response time. Okay. Sorry, you wanted to hear from me? Great. Hi, call me.
Hmm.
Sure. Oh, sorry, didn't get to it. It's like, and it's not on purpose. It's just that, like, what's my capacity? And being really honest with myself about what is my capacity. And so I hear you on, like, when you have been going at the speed of light for such a long time that it starts to feel like you're failing when you pump the brakes, and that's actually just not true. And like another like great secret that I just want to tell anyone who's listening is that no one can see your calendar but you. So when you are suddenly starting to create space and negotiate with yourself and your own time to accommodate someone else and feel guilty, like, oh, could I move this lunch? It doesn't really matter. Or, oh, my yoga class that I like to do so I can meet with them. It's like, fuck that. No, they can't see your calendar. They don't know if you're meeting with the Pope or you're going to your yoga class that you love. Keep your commitments to yourself and fit people in when it works for you. And like, of course, there's exceptions to that. Of course, there's other things, but it's like we as women, especially high performers, have been trained to bend over backwards for people. And that by doing that, that there is some big reward at the
Hmm.
end.
And there isn't.
It's breast cancer.
It's breast cancer or any cancer or an anxiety disorder or fibromyalgia, or I mean, it's any number of things that just sort of
Or just
marinate in
being
the body.
unhappy. And it doesn't even have to like wait till disease. It's like, are you happy? When was the last time you like did something just for you or did something for fun or like thought back to the little girl in you who liked to spin in a field? And when was the last time you just laid in grass?
Mhm. I have a hammock in my backyard, and it's amazing how I just wind up there a lot. I just wind up in the hammock. I just appear in the hammock, and it's weird how I didn't think I never knew I had the ability to just lay down and like it's like if you build it, they will come. Like it's like I put a hammock out there, and I'm like, now all I do is just hang out in a hammock, and then
So, okay.
I almost brought my laptop out there, and I was like, fuck this. There's no
No, sacred
laptop
space,
in
sacred
hammock
space,
land.
sacred space. Can I just actually challenge you on something?
Sure.
I actually think that you are less burned out than you think. I think that you have to, like, now your big challenge is letting go of the narrative that you're burned out and
Mm.
trusting that you're supported. Trust that Melissa is doing a great job with Toast and Jam, and trust that anyone who actually needs you to reply back to those emails will call you or text you or any of those things. And that you get to absorb and soak up all the joy and that you're creating through Hot Flash Dance and just simmer in that. And that maybe it's okay to just
Yeah, I don't know how to
be.
chill. That is part of the problem. It's like right now I can do anything I want to with my time, and I feel like if I'm not at my laptop, I'm somehow doing it wrong. It's terrible. I am getting more little dumb things done, but I haven't really quite given myself the permission to. My friend is opening a needlepoint store up
Oh my God,
like
fun.
two blocks from me, and, I've been helping her, like, just set it up. Like, the last 2 days I've gone over and I'm, like, organizing the thread, and then I was taping some canvases, and it was like, I'm like, all it, like, was taking me back to my retail days when I was in college, and God, I love retail. I love retail. I loved being in retail. Your day is over, and then you leave it there. You don't think
And
about
it's done. And it's done.
and you're
Yeah.
just organizing shit. Like, I just organize shit, and it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. All I wanna
Mm.
do is organize shit. All I wanna do is zoom, a zoom, 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 and
And
organize it,
it's
boom,
boom.
boom.
Okay. So, like, those little things that you're doing and the way you're showing up for people and the way, like, that actually is spaciousness. It's okay to still be busy. And also knowing that, like, you can, like, pump the brakes on the urgency part. And because that piece is ours to, I I think again, like, goes back to any high performing woman, which is anyone born from 1976 to 1985 who serve the same neighborhood narrative. I have no data on that specific demographic,
Mhm.
but just saying
I
that,
mean,
like,
knock it back
the
to 75 so I can be included in it.
75. So it's this. We were taught we could have it all. We were the feminist um, leaders at that time were very much like pantsuit boss bitches who were in their masculine, which, by the way, that accomplished a lot for womankind. Like, I honor them. And now we get to settle into a little bit more ease. What shocked me so fucking much as a business owner in like the time when I was building Yak Yak was once I started hiring Gen Z employees and then literally not checking their email after they left work. And I was like, "Th- what? Not checking your email?" They're like, no, and actually, like, we didn't even really want it on our phone. And they used their vacation days and they did all of these things that were like so against the way that we were taught success looked like when we were coming up in the workplace, where it's like, no, 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 you work hard, you stay late, you show the boss that you really care.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
none of that was actually true. And so, like, I learned so much from my Gen Z employees about, like, boundaries and things. So it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's okay if you don't get back to someone in 5 minutes. It's okay if you're offline after working hours and you get back to people in the morning.
I mean, it
Because
should
that,
be.
it should,
I
no,
mean,
but it is. It is. It
well,
is.
yeah. I mean, it it is, but there are a lot of business owners out there that haven't gotten that memo.
So are we talking to the business owners or are we talking to their employees?
The thing is that it's the business owners have to be able to be like that's part of the entrepreneurial spirit is the pivoting and understanding like, okay, all right, um, I did this once before, I'll do it again. Being inflexible, I think, is the death knell of an entrepreneur. And I would maybe even argue that they're not even being an entrepreneur in the first place. I feel like some people like buy businesses, or they, you know, they just buy a franchise, or they, you know, inherit something. And it's like, and then they have the gall to call themselves an entrepreneur. It's like, no, you bought somebody else's thing. It's like when people are like, Elon Musk is so smart. I mean, he made Tesla and PayPal. It's like, no, bitch, he bought all those things. Like he bought them. He's, you know, he can break things, but he can't build them.
I don't
And
feel like I feel like I'm in a much stronger position to comment on his character than actually like the origin of each of his businesses. But I think that the main thing is this is like we forget that we have agency. And like that's what it's all coming back to is agency. You have the right to choose how you spend your time. You have the right to choose how you feel in your body. And if then there's many of us who thrive off of the chaos of the go, 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 because that's the only speed that we've been operating at for decades, maybe. And but when you can like at least fill that space with something that brings you a little bit of joy. At least pump the brakes, especially if you're not the one like holding the keys to the kingdom. And actually, you know, especially if you are the one holding the keys to the kingdom and running the business. Like life, the whole point of this is to dance, is to sing, is to fuck, is to laugh, is to like be in circle and be in connection with one another and witness each other and love each other. And I know that sounds so hippie, but it's like actually the truth. And we have just been so overridden with this narrative around performance and what it means to be successful. And we bought it, bro. Like we bought it, hook, line, and sinker. But now that we know a little bit differently, we get to undo it a little bit. And that's our task, I think, as
mhm.
being women in this lifetime is to create a better path for our kids.
Yeah, and I think that all of that production, all that productivity, and all that other that was money that went up and away from us.
Oh my God.
And you know, and
Totally.
it's like I think that the you know the narrative right now around labor and work is, you know, work is for suckers, and you know, you know, like I'm only give them boss exactly like with the Gen Z, like I'm only, you know, giving them a part of me or whatever. And you know, kind of, and I get it. I'm not being disparaging of
I see where you're
that.
going with this, and I love it. Let's go there. Let's go there.
um
Because not every business is a billion-dollar company that's trying to suck out your soul. Like working for a small business owner, like it requires a different level of um
Understanding, and understanding of of where you're working, because working for me is not like working for a corporation that has like I think that I feel like part of the reason why we're at where we're at right now, like with the world, is that when you make a business too big, the boss is too far away from the people who are actually doing the work, and then they don't understand what's happening. So it's really easy to make decisions that kind of fuck them over, because you're never going to have to look them in the eye. All you're doing is providing more cash or shareholder value. And you know, it's like, I feel like we need to just, I mean, I know I really learned a lot about how you're supposed to not have monopolies when I was in high school. And it feels like that's all we have now are just a bunch of monopolies. And it's soul
wait,
sucking.
quick question. So which thread do we want to tug?
I don't
Then
know.
like the
I'm
flip
all over
side
the
of
place.
this, like because like one, I think what's if I were going to say anything about like a uber corporate environment, I would say this: do your job, be in integrity, and go home. And don't
Hmm.
let it consume you.
Yeah.
Take it for what it is. And that can be a tremendous benefit. You can get a paycheck that's funding your kids' lives, all of that. Like, that's something to take seriously. Like, when I advise people or mentors, it's like, um, if you're going to get a job that you hate, show up and fucking love it, because that energy will introduce you to the next person. And it's breadcrumbs to the next path and being open to that.
Means
But
to an
like
end.
showing up and being a sourpuss and all of that, like that's bullshit too.
Or this is
But
below me or
yeah, this
whatever.
below me. It's like, okay, well, I know this, that every single job that I've had has unfolded, and every relationship and every person, it's like because they get a vibe from me. And anyway, if I was like, my main point is like, show up, do a good job, do your thing, and
Yeah.
don't take on more than what you need to prove yourself if it's not going to come back in spades. Now, the other piece of this is now those who are working for a small business owner. And I will say this, man, I got my ass handed to me over and over and over and over again. I did not send the money up to management. I made the same amount of money for the entire time that I was CEO of this
Yeah.
company. I did not ever get a raise. I gave copious raises to everyone else. I made sure they had good insurance. I did the best I could with benefits, and I got ripped to shreds. And I do ask myself regularly, and I'm curious about your stake in this too, is as much as I tried to create a business that wasn't steeped in patriarchal and deeply capitalistic values, I don't think the workforce was ready for it. And I think that there is so much internalized misogyny that like really, man, like it
It's and the call comes from inside the house. There's a lot of women on women crime that happens too. But I think that like
oh my God, yeah.
one of the things that I've come to realize because my employees were all 1099 and turning them to W-2, it really means that all you're doing is putting in like rules and regulations around your business to make up for the bad behavior of other people. Like other people fucked their employees over. And so therefore that is why you have to have a minimum wage, or that is why you have to have, you know, PTO and all these other things. Like they have to mandate these. It's like how they had to make child marriage illegal because too many people were fucking marrying children. Like, so, I mean, it's like
So
we had to make a
gross.
law for that. We had to make a law to not allow children in factories because if we didn't, children would be working in factories. And so, like, so many of the things that I have to do that cost me money that are so dumb and stupid, like, you know, it's like, you know, things like around reimbursable expenses or, you know, all these like dumb rules where it's like, this isn't even my business. This is all shit that I'm just trying to work around these things so that I can do my business in the way I want to do it. And I can't because I have to have mandatory sexual harassment training once a year. And I have to have, you know, making sure that I'm giving my DJs who give me their schedule and tell me when they want to work that I have to give them PTO. And it's like, but what are they going to do? Book a wedding and then say they don't want to do it? I don't know how they would even enact PTO. But because other businesses have done such a bad job of giving their employees time off and
Yeah.
they use it, like it's like you're paying the price for all those people and you're paying the price for people who are. That's why I think like for businesses that are so much bigger than yours that like you don't have that problem, but you still have to like have policy around it and like it's
Yeah.
just
It's a lot. And being a
It's a
business
lot.
owner, it's a lot. It's a lot. Having employees is a lot.
It's deeply uncool. I understand why multinational corporation owners become Republicans. Like because there's so much regulation around these things that it's like, of course they're gonna like lobby for the guy that's gonna take the rules away. I would kill for someone to come along and take the rules away. But they protect too many people. That's the thing. It's like, I get it. Like I know why these rules exist. I'm just not the one who's doing it. And so it's, you know, very hard. But
it's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's exhausting. And those are the things that take, like, if you are someone who has started a business because you're passionate about it and they have an idea that lights you up, and then you get into all of like the actual shit that goes into running a business, like, no wonder you get burned out. No wonder you get bogged down. No wonder you lose sight of the prize. So it's like having a side hustle, having a hobby, having something that's an outlet for you.
that isn't scrolling your phone.
That does not count. That's really, really important. But I would argue, like, honestly, I think every person needs to connect back with their artist and connect back with like the hobbies and the things that bring them joy and like that space. Reading poetry,
Yeah.
sitting in a
Reading
hammock without
poetry.
your laptop. You know that I just took my first vacation without my laptop a couple weeks ago.
How'd it go? Did you borrow someone's laptop?
I did actually have to do some work on my iPad, but it was so I'm sitting on the plane with my daughter, and it was a girls' trip, and we were going to
Where were you
see
going?
to Charleston, and we were going to see one of my best friends and her daughter, who's similar age of mine, and so we got on the plane, sat down. I pulled out a book, and I was like, "We're not doing screens right now," and so she pulled out a book and she read for a little bit. And then I got a ping on my phone that someone needed like some code for something or other. So then I pull out my laptop or my iPad to try to fumble through and get this done. And like, oh, it would have been so much better to have my laptop to get this done faster. I ended up fumbling with it for a little bit. And then I noticed my daughter close her book and pull out her iPad because connection time was over. So if we are never connected to art, poetry, the shorter, the slower pace off of our devices, our kids are never, ever going to be.
Yeah. And the devices are too much. It's weird how much I let it happen too. I thought like you think you're going to be this parent that's like, I'm not going to do technology. I'm not going to do that. And it's you do all of it. And it's like, wow, like I have no control over my parent. I mean, it's probably part of this fucked up shit that's going on with, the degradation of democracy, like where I made a child and I don't feel like I have any control over parenting him in some ways.
I mean, I have 3 of them and I'm a single mom. So it's like sometimes I have to use devices to like get anything done. If I like want to talk, if I want to go outside and talk on the phone to you while you're telling me what's going on in your life, I put my kids on a device because then they aren't starting fires. But it's just, it's really, it's a challenge. And okay, so I want to bring something back here.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. So yeah, bring it back.
Mary Nisi. What is something that's burning you out right now?
I don't know. What's burning you out? Let's start with your burnout first before we get to mine.
I am noticing. So since I exited the agency, I have this like I'm looking for things to do and to fill my time. I have plenty of creative projects. I've got plenty of spots I need to be. I've sort of had to recalibrate my brain a little bit to be like, I don't need to look at my phone right now. I don't need to take this into the bathroom. I don't need to do all of those things. And so that's been an interesting reset. And I think for me, where I'm feeling pressure right now is that like, I've got to make a living. I got to do like the next thing is here. It's time to lean into it and announce it and roll it out. And so I'm feeling some pressure to like, again, perform. But generally speaking, like I make it a point to walk every day and get connected to nature. And there are definitely things that would enhance my life, but I'm intentionally trying to create a little bit more ease, at least in these summer months, which is positive.
Yeah, I think I'm just having I think I'm just having a hard time like unraveling the abuse that I've been doing to myself for so long.
Yeah, I hear you on
just
that.
the worrying and realizing like, I don't have to do these things. And that's, it's like when you say all these problems are imaginary, it's like during COVID, I realized that money's imaginary. I realized that we made up money. Like, like the second that I got like PPP loans and I'm like, they just gave me all this money. Like, what is money worth to them if they're going to give me this much money? And it was barely anything. Like to me, it was so much money. And like to a normal business, it would be like a rounding error.
I know.
And I'm like, so we just flinging this stuff around and some of these industries matter. But the ones that really matter when everything comes down to it, all we really want is takeout food, health stuff, and TV, like the arts. And that's all we want. We listen to music. We all listen. We were all folklore turned us all into Swifties. Like it was.
I was already there, but
I was already there too. But a lot of people that they finally got it.
Finally got Fearless. Fearless really got me.
Yeah. You're down. Lover was my conversion.
Lover was so good though. I mean, that was when I was really like, oh my, I'm never letting you go. But like she gave us so much from 2019.
She's given us so much.
So much.
But yeah, it's realizing that we're all a slave to this thing that we just made up, and all of our problems are made up, and it sucks to like be living this life. And it's like realizing like, oh, I can stop doing that because that's like made up and stupid.
Isn't that so exciting to be like, oh, you don't actually have to have party favors for your kid's birthday party.
Yes.
You don't actually have to overnight all of these things from Amazon to create more plastic waste and do all these things. You know what you can do instead? Bake some cookies and put them in a baggie with a bow.
I had a barbecue on the 4th of July, and I used to have, like, when I would have a barbecue, I'd make, like, 5 different kinds of salads, and I would have 6 different types of meat, and I would have marinated the ribs for 3 days, and I would have, like, I used to, like, make so much work, and then I would have, like, enough food to feed the Turkish Navy, like, left over, and, like, this time I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna do burgers, hot dogs, potato salad, and that's it." And everybody was fed. I had barely any food left over, and I'm like, "Oh, so all that, like, overachieving, like, super Martha Stewart bullshit that I would, like, try to do
It
was."
didn't
Yeah,
fucking matter.
didn't matter. Did not matter.
And so maybe that's it. Maybe the thesis of all of the things that we've been talking about today is this: simplify, do less. If you're working a corporate job, do less.
Do less, but also just if you're proud of what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. So if you're doing a job where you are just hitting a button and nothing is fun, like, get the fuck out of that job. I know that's really easy for me to say, but, like, this is your one wild and crazy life. Like, do you really want to? I don't know. I always feel like there's options, and I don't know if I can't tell. Like, I always feel like there's options, and I can't tell if that is like coming from a very privileged place. Like, when I
Yeah,
say, like,
it
just
is.
get a new job, it's like, it's like
Because, like, here's the thing. It's like this is a mindset shift. So, like, let's unpack this for just like 1 second. So, yes, if like if it's not always possible to get a new job, then what can you do with the job that you have? Okay, do what you need to do. Appreciate, honor the paycheck when it comes in. Bless it. Like, be grateful for it, and know that, like, that serves a point in your life. It fulfills your paycheck. Does it fulfill your soul? Great. No, that doesn't have to also be true. So then what can fulfill your soul? You know what? I love to cut my kids' sandwiches into heart shapes before school, and that brings me joy. And that's a thing that I do to I'm just throwing examples. It's just honoring and acknowledging the parts of fulfillment. This fulfills me financially. This fulfills my soul. This fulfills me and creatively, and making sure that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket and expecting someone to hand you a gold star. No, have agency. What does my soul need right now? My soul needs to feel more connected to my 3 kids. So I'm going to, you know, do these things for them, just a little gesture so they know. And then I'm going to do this thing for me. I'm going to stay up late night. I'm going to watch Gossip Girl reruns while knitting. That brings me joy. You know what I mean? Let's just awareness and then mindset around it.
Yeah. And I think that we also can make things better. I think that, when you have a boss that's mean or whatever, it's like, kind of like, try to unravel why you think they're mean, and then maybe there's solutions in there. If you think that person's mean, someone else thinks they're mean, and that person probably hates themselves. So it's like, how do we either make them hate themselves less and be nicer, or all rally to find a way to get that person either out of that position, or I don't know. I just feel like my accountant used to have this thing on his wall that said suffering is optional, and it used to drive me crazy when I would see that, because I would be like, well, what if the person in, like, the My Lai massacre, like, they weren't, but then I think about Anne Frank in the attic, and one of the last things she wrote is like, I think that everybody is good in their hearts as she's actively hiding from Nazis. So it's like, the suffering is optional. Like, you can be in that massacre, and if you are at peace with yourself, you know that you didn't cause it and you can't fix it. So just be who you are inside of it. I'm saying that as much to myself as I'm saying it to you, because I get real worked up over things, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't matter. And, like, it really is the mindset.
All mindset. What matters? What doesn't?
Are you my new co-host?
I mean, I don't know. Do you what do you guys think? Should we be a regular guest co-host? Are you liking this vibe? Because I love anytime I'm spending time with you. I leave happier.
Samesies. So I don't know what's going to happen here, folks, but we need to wrap this up because we're getting over the limit. We've taken it to the limit. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And you should write reviews of this podcast and like it, because apparently that's a thing that needs to happen in order for people to find this cast we call pod. Bye.
Love ya. Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Up in My Lady Business with me, Mary Nisi. We'd love for you to like, review, subscribe, follow us at All Up in My Lady Business on the gram. And if you're a female identifying person and you want to dance, you can follow. I mean, everybody can follow it, but if you want to be a part of the magic at Hot Flash Dance Party, sign up for the mailing list to find out where our next party is going to be. And if you are looking for a DJ in the Chicagoland area or anywhere else, money's the same color everywhere. Fly us out. ToastandJamDJs.com has the best. And listen to my radio show. I have a radio show on Chirp Radio at chirpradio.org. That's Mondays, every Monday from 12 until 3 p.m. CST. Today's episode is produced by Shiraz Dada. Theme song composed and performed by, you guessed it, Shiraz Dada. All right, guys. Peace out.